we're going to look at a theme of emigration, which is a major theme in Scottish history, which has been a recurring and pertinent theme for Will Maclean. Many of his direct Highland ancestors in Coyach and Skye left for foreign shores, most never to return. The harsh and unforgiving lands, the draconian land ownership, the lack of money and opportunities all conspired to gut the Highlands of much of its young lifeblood in the 19th century. Indeed, Maclean has presented new works in a recent exhibition at the Fine Arts Society here in Edinburgh, entitled Diaspora. These marvellous works looked closely at 6 of Will's family antecedents who had departed from Scotland, and the lives of each are illustrated with a box construction, a collage and a pencil drawing. Some of these are here in the exhibition. One of these relations was a young Murdo Macleod of Springland in Poblain, granduncle to Will and myself. Murdo left for South Africa in 1901 to seek his fortune. In a remarkable surviving set of letters sent home, Murdo tells of his time there, first in Cape Town, where he comments on hearing the old Gaelic songs being sung, and then onwards up country into the Boer War, where he enlisted in an irregular unit, Scots Railway Guards, working to protect the railway lines at the Kimberley Down lines. On the 25th of January 1902, he was shot dead by a Boer patrol at Neil's farm, Devondale. Subsequent black-edged letters of condolence that survived can have done little to ease the pain of the death of a young son, aged 25. It's a sad microcosm of the endless loss of young Highlanders to relentless imperialism, which left the family in Coyach in complete despair. His old mother Mary outlived 6 of her 9 children, all of whom were the artist's antecedents. However, over a century later, Will created a superb box construction entitled Letters from Kimberley as a memorial to this white man, which now hangs in the family home in Springland. Within the artwork, Will has woven imagery of 3 silk silver leaves sent home by young Murdo to his mother, sending love from Cape Town, and a faint single surviving photo of the young soldier in uniform. So, here we're going to play, to cheer us up, some of the great Pershtabale tunes from the Gaelic tradition of mouth music, which kept the ancient music alive in the Highland communities after the last Jacobite uprising when cutting was prescribed. They couldn't keep the music down though, and I like to think that Murdo would have recognised these tunes after all this time. So we're going to play Allan Big. What else, Allan?
You want me to tell?
Yes.
Because you might know.
You'll know.
Saul, Ian Houston, and then East knows the Calvin Cuttle. You tell me where you're sleeping, in other words. Morik Janich and Morik, Reine Vanish. Morik made the wedding.
Okay. you. Okay, moving on. One of the big themes is clearance and eviction and the movement of people. And we're going to look at the Highland clearances briefly, and specifically eviction in Coya. This centres on a poem, Modern Baden Tarbert, another poem by Will Macleod, the poem being Bard. It refers to the Baden Tarbert clearances of the early 19th century, when the indigenous people living there, including Will and my great-grandparents, were forcibly cleared off the land by the landowners and shifted to the island of Tannaramore, the largest of the Summer Isles. They eventually returned to the mainland sometime in the 1840s to open up barren moorland to create the township of Polbane with its rough crofts and rude stone houses. As my father, Roddy MacLeod, said, Oran Baden Tarbert, the Baden Tarbert song, is a graphic illustration of the effects of the clearances. Indeed, my own great-grandfather, Murdo MacLeod, and his young family were one of those families evicted from Baden Tarbert to Tanna. The inability to make even a paltry living from harsh ground frequently led to tenants being perpetually indebted to the landlord. The potential gain from sheep rearing far outweighed the revenue from these tenants, and this often resulted in the replacement with sheep farms, as was the case in Baden Tarbert in 1842. And that ground is still deserted. There's nothing there, except the remains, the rig, the ruined houses. So I'm going to ask Allan to give the poem, and you've got the translation, I think, in front of you. So, thank you.
I guess about Oran, but Narratish, the melody has been lost. Yeah, the melody of it. Maar valach en de factoren is een dunne moor. Hoe keert een habel voor a ach van die is van elm. Han eich kun juach gemmer aan, le kunne plas na gor. Ja njaran wek op naharichen, han eich een leed ach braak. Zie het er een in eker oor, gach pein is stra par vooi. Goa die heet gus een glatachsje, gus straantje toe te gooien. A wir yn syffarddamach, y tacer coed yn dlwy. Y giri yn nera asha gwyn, ha'i hors ne ffordd nes dlwy. Ys ym y tynnu tachbi sy'n gwch feran hors fwcht. Beg yn falad ag Africa sy'n America ar chwan. O falwch yn y ffactorin, rhain biawn yn rhain o crwy. Y ffars di big rhaid ffydach ni, is sgirir dŵp y chwan. Is i edrych ha mi rach garach, gach diwch is i ar o fawn. Gwa di hiad gach tren lwch, y gynnig eich le'n cwts wawn. Sy'n a cahaf bai at criwtioch, nawn cogwg gysio rhaid. Hwyr Waterloo's corona, mwyach van de zin. Ze met jeugdig, perstjach, pierger, heichel vaas. Troelis al traagkerig, karnig, waan ilk, agus baar. Gaan eichken juach keurig en medig, en maat. Is keeper eerkracht, stoelbach, le koe, ek haal. Siawr Baden Tarbert, hij is een goedbaan. Waar ooreken en kruchtjeren de taaien schisker bla. Waar een feien kokkerig uiig is trogen och a haar. Gaan niet kunt ju ach loger, dus kloonef de vaas.
Thank you, Allan. Terrific to hear.